Hey guys, so I made it to the Everglades and I've got an extremely rare treat for you. There's only, according to Wikipedia, about 2,000 of these estimated in the wild right now in the United States of America. This is the North American crocodile, not the alligator, but the crocodile. And he is beautiful. Look at this guy. He's just right here, just hanging out. So I went to that job place and they didn't know anything. So I gotta play the email game for a little bit and try to get that job. But oh my God, guys, American crocodile. Ow, I just got bit by a horsefly. Let's start the Q&A. Woo! Hey, wasn't that crocodile incredible? Man, I am so lucky to have seen that, and so are you, because they're extremely rare. So let's get started on this question, or this Q&A session. But first, keep in mind that I do this every Thursday, so ask your questions below, and I will do my best to answer everybody's questions next Thursday. We got quite a list here. I've tried to do this video 3 times already. The first 2 times, I forgot to press record. The second time, I went over the 20-minute limit, so I'm going to try to speed things up and not ramble. So let's go. Woo! Question 1 comes from Daydrifter. You ask, where did you acquire your auto know-how? It seems pretty extensive to me. Thanks. Mostly a combination of YouTube videos, internet forums, and trial and error. But I'm also pretty mechanically inclined, so that helps with the other 3. But yeah, I don't have any formal training at all. It's all just kind of figuring stuff out and hoping it works in the beginning, and then sometimes failing and learning from that and learning how to do it right. But just, I guess, lots of practice. So, Cool Cat Caroline asks, do you worry that you'll burn out blogging every day? No. First of all, I try not to worry about anything. Second of all, I have a list of probably 20 different videos to make, and there's so many angles with the van dwelling thing. I mean, I could get so specific with every little tiny thing. I don't worry about that at all. I love making videos. I make them every day. The inspiration comes and I make them, and it's great. It's wonderful. Your second question is, what makes some of your videos have such high watch numbers while others less? Do you do SEO, which is search engine optimization, for those who don't know? And if so, how do you track it? Okay, so my 2 highest viewed videos, which are like radically higher than any of the rest, are the van tour video and the pros and cons video. The van tour video, on everybody's channel, their van tour video is usually the highest, and that's because that's what people want to see the most. The second is the pros and cons of van dwelling, or pros and cons of living on the road in a van. One, it's pretty clickbaity. It's something that would pop up and people would be like, living on the road in a van, oh my God, that sounds awesome. I'm going to click on this and check it out. And then they check it out. Or it's very specific because they're thinking, okay, I want to live in a van on the road, but there's things that I can't think of yet because I haven't done it yet. So I wonder if someone else has listed the pros and cons, which is like the basic when you get into something, like at least me, is what are the pros and cons of this? So that's what I look up. And all my videos I make because it's something that I wish would have been available, or I wanted to hear from another person's point of view about living in a van on the road. So that's how I do it. I don't ever go on AdWords and look up what keywords get the most hits and then try to make videos around that. I come up with the idea and then I try to make it so that it gets more views by the way I title it and the description and the keywords that I use for the tags. So Cody Spurgeon asks, build looks good. Thanks, man. My question is, who do you watch on YouTube? Okay, when I started out, it was Dan Travels, Will Burson, A. Clarino, I think that's how you say his channel name, and Stand By Your Van, he was another one, and The Ramblings of Bry were the main ones that I watched then, and I still watch all of them, except for Dan's not making van videos, but he does have that awesome other channel, which I'm psyched about. So yeah, that's basically it. There's a bunch of new guys that I really dig. I'm not going to name them because 3 of them I know their personal name, but I don't remember their channel name. And the other one, I can't remember his channel name. So I'm going to have to mention you guys, if you're even watching this, throughout, like, when I can. But basically, there's some new guys that are awesome. So yeah, that's basically it. But the majority of the videos I watch on YouTube are either specific to something I want to know, which usually has nothing to do with the van, or fart videos. I watch a lot of fart prank videos. They make me laugh. I love awkward humor, and pretending to fart on people is just the funniest thing in the world, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty stupid, but it's definitely mindless entertainment, but I dig it. It's very, it's just funny. So MK Klein 718 asks, how long have you been at this guy's house? Does he let you use the facilities and Wi-Fi for free? Are you working a job while you're there? That's in reference to the place where I was just staying in Bellevue, Florida. Yeah, they were letting me stay there for free and use their tools, water, electricity, leftovers. Sometimes they included me in dinner. Took me out to lunch a couple times, and hung out with me and made me laugh and were awesome. And Pete gave me tips on the van build and everything. It was his idea for these lights, this badass, I forget what he called this, like shadow lights or something, ninja lights, I don't know what they're called. But this is his idea. Yeah, they didn't charge me anything. If I had money, I would have paid them, or I would have done something for them. I tried to help out and do dishes and stuff, but there wasn't much I could do. But I wish I could repay them somehow, because I'm really grateful, not only for spending time with them, but them letting me use all their stuff for free. That was incredible. So, Laura, if you're watching this, thank you again. Where am I? Oh, Be Forgiveness asks, this is a long one. I should have edited this first. Oh, this is a really good question. Your question is, do you ever feel uncomfortable not being able to see your surroundings from the van because my windows are blocked off? And you mentioned Dan Travel's awesome setup with the security cameras and the display where he's able to see 360 around his van, which is a really cool setup. You know what? No, I haven't. There was one time when I was in Idaho where I thought there was a bear outside, and I was like, oh my God. So I grabbed my flashlight, and I was like, oh God. And I was peeling back the corners of the windows, and I was trying to see, and then I ran over to the side and did the same, and then I ran out the front and did the same. Ended up it was a deer, and it was no big deal. But that's the only time I've ever felt the need to even look out. Otherwise, I'm in my own little world, man. I don't worry about what's going on out there unless it's a bear. So that's that. Great question. Wow. 9 Sectors of Sound Tribe has 2 questions. Actually, I think there's a third one at the end. The first one is, do you smoke weed? No, but I used to. I did it almost every day for 2 years. At first, it was a great way to get outside of the box and also slow my thoughts down, because my thoughts are constantly it's really, really hard. I can only meditate for 3 seconds at a time, so I do little mini meditations throughout the day instead of big long ones. But when I smoked weed, I could meditate for days. It was crazy. But it started giving me anxiety, so I quit. And it was also felt habitual instead of using it as a tool. Second question, have you ever tried LSD? Yes, I have. That was once. That was pretty powerful experience. Another get you outside of your ego and into the moment and experiencing something totally out of the realm of what you normally consider normal. The only thing that was more crazy than that was DMT. I tried that once. That was, which is just it sounds like DMT, sounds like a hardcore chemical, but it's just the dream molecule, so it makes you dream while you're awake. That was, yeah, once in a lifetime for each of those is enough for me. Same thing for shrooms, even though I think I did those twice. This was all when I was younger. Not that there's anything wrong with drugs, at least psychedelics. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Where am I? Oh, the next question is by Ricky Lewis. He says, I know this is way off topic, but what is your opinion on weed? Legalize it or not? I think that all drugs should be legalized. I think that the government has no right to tell me what I can and cannot do with my consciousness. I think that watching the news and reading People magazine and stuff like going to school, public schools, is way worse for your consciousness than drugs. There's also the fact that there's been a lot of research done, and it seems that addiction it's purely psychological rather than like physical, like the reason people have a hard time getting off of drugs is because of the shame, and the way our culture treats drug addiction is like something you should be ashamed of. And then they tell you it's a disease and you're totally powerless, so people don't even like try to. It's a mess, dude. But yeah, I think drugs should be legalized, all of them. And I think that drug treatment should be improved, like big time. Big time. This whole rehab thing obviously doesn't work for most people. So I'm going to move on from that. But if you guys want to know more about my thoughts on that, ask me in the comment section. And maybe I'll even make a video about it on my other channel. Which I haven't made a video for yet that I need to. Kirby Puckett asks, what else have you worked, or where else have you worked besides the haunted house? Pet shops, fast food, just basic stuff. Did guitar tech work for a little bit. It's kind of basic stuff like that. Lots of odd jobs. Lots of finding like $20, $50, $100 here and there. Adds up. Next question is from Steve Greason. He asked, if you had $10,000 to spend on a new van, what make and model would you get? I would get a 90s Ford ambulance that's a diesel, and for that kind of money, I could get a four-wheel drive one, and that would be badass. Either that or a 90s full-length, like extended with a high-top Ford diesel Econoline, windowless, put a couple custom windows in it, and put my own four-wheel drive system on it, and that would be sweet. Next question is from Matthew Purcell. He asked, I'm wondering if you talk a little bit about what type of books you tend to read and what some of your favorites are. I've only read like a handful of books because my mind goes so fast and I'm always trying to figure something out, and it's so hard for me to just get like off of that. I've mostly read self-help books. I've read a lot of codependency and healthy relationships and boundaries and adult children of alcoholics and those types of books. But the other handful that I've read are like The Alchemist, amazing book, highly recommend it to anybody, magical little book. The Power of Now literally changed my life. The period before and after I read that book are separate periods in my life. I'm a different person. Ultimate Power by Tony Robbins, I've read that one. That one's great. And Interview with the Vampire, as far as fiction goes, I've read that. That's an incredible book. Definitely better than the movie. Only because I read the book first, though. It's probably still a really good movie. It's just like the whole time I was like, no, it didn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? So, Levi Cam says, do you think you would get a pet to travel? You know what? I would love to have a pet, but right now with stopping to work all the time, it gets really hot in this van. Not fair to risk killing an animal. And also, I like big dogs, and having a big dog in a little van, I don't think that would work very well. Live Simply says, I asked the question last week, but it got missed. I'm really sorry about that. I'm really curious how you're able to get a job in a new place without a local address. Okay, I have 3 different methods. The first one is use a friend's house. The second one is get a P.O. box. And if you cancel a P.O. box within the first 3 months, I believe, you get half of your money back, so it ends up only being like $25 or something, and it's like $50 up front. The third one is just tell them I'm a traveler and use my permanent address, which is back in Oregon. Primo1127 asks, I've seen a vaping mod of one of your videos. My question is, how do you feel about the switch from cigarettes to vaping? Apparently, you made this switch 2 months ago, and you feel better, and you've saved a bunch of cash, and that is awesome. Congratulations, man. I've made the switch before, and it felt great. I don't know why I started smoking cigarettes again. I only smoke like 3 or 4 a day, but once this pack's gone, I'm quitting until I pay off all my credit cards, so I will be joining you in that. And I'm sure it does feel great. I forget what it's like, but I'm looking forward to it. So, woohoo! Sauce and Dolphin says, love the vids. Thanks, dude. Or lady, whatever you are. I'm sorry if either one of those or both of those are offensive. I just bought a camper shell for my truck. Okay, skip. The 2 questions are, first one, how did you mentally prepare? I'm going to make a video on this very soon, within the next week. I'm going to try my hardest to make it within the next week. And the next one is, what is the most beautiful place you've ever seen while on the road? That's an incredibly difficult question to answer because I've seen so many incredible, mind-blowing places.
One of them is the first mind-blowing place I ever saw that like totally like what was Glacier National Park in Montana. The second was Death Valley in California. The third was the Grand Canyon. The fourth was Wyoming. And the most beautiful man-made place I've ever seen is probably Salem, Massachusetts, or some parts in Boston. So I hope that answers that adequately. Sector Sound Tribe says, ever hooked up with a random chick on the road? No, I have not. I'm not really into that. I was when I was younger, when I was wilder and lonelier, I guess. I really just did it to try to get like some emotional connection because I was filled with shame and wasn't able to really be myself around people. I felt like I was supposed to be ashamed of who I really was, and I wasn't supposed to show it to anybody. So I tried to hook up to try to get like close to people. It's totally a psychological thing, but I don't really do that anymore. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I don't feel like it honors me to just physically hook up with someone or whatever. But my reasons for doing it are totally different for other people's reasons. For some people, like that's totally like a cool thing to do, So cool, it's good for them. For me, I'm really not into just the physical aspect. I really need the emotional and the spiritual connection to have sex anymore. And I'm really just waiting until I'm like super in love with someone, which I am right now, and doing it that way instead. It just feels better to me. To each their own. For other people, if they're into that, that's their thing. That's cool, man. I'm not judging anybody, but I'm just saying for me. So the last one is from Deuterino Rodento. You should change your name instead of Rodent to Rodento, but it's cool to like Rodent because it's an offset. It's like a contrast. Okay, anyway, your question is, where's the musical ending? It's right here, dude. That was terrible. That's the worst I've ever played this thing. I'm sorry. I owe you a real one. Hold on. Okay, that's it, guys. I'm sorry. I can't play tonight. I gotta get warmed up first.